This is the heartbreaking and shocking story of the retired Major General Rabe Abubakar, which has gripped the entire nation. Once the powerful voice of the Nigerian military as the Director of Defense Information (DDI), General Abubakar dedicated over 30 years of his life fighting insecurity. Tragically, in 2026, he fell victim to the very crisis he spent his life battling. In this documentary, we will explore his entire life journey and the event that led to his sudden death. We shall look at his early life and education, entering the Nigeria Defense Academy (NDA) and commissioning, his rise through the ranks, global training in China, and leading military public relations, his devoted family life with his wife and his 4 children, the fateful May 2026 ambush in Matazu, Katsina State, the conflicting reports surrounding his tragic death in captivity, and the subsequent rescue of his wife. Major General Rabe Abubakar's life represents decades of loyal service, but his death remains a stark reminder of the security challenges facing Nigeria today. If a retired general cannot be saved, then who will? Go to our channel and check out how to survive kidnappings in Nigeria to help you better train yourself and prepare in case the unthinkable happens to you. Watch until the end of this video to understand the full timeline and the aftermath that shocked the nation. Please subscribe to our channel, like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe for more in-depth military documentaries. Major General Rabe Abubakar was born on April 7, 1965 in Batsari, Katsina State. His maternal family background was centered entirely around Islamic scholarship and public service. According to family record shared by his mother, his maternal grandfather was an Islamic cleric and a traditional judge, Al-Kali. He was well known for his strict anti-materialistic lifestyle, administering local justice while sitting simply on a traditional mat rather than a luxury chair. This philosophy of simplicity passed down through generations. His mother notably maintained a heavily minimalist household, resisting attempts by General Abubakar during his successful military career to buy a modern luxury furniture for her bedroom because of her aversion to worldly materials. Instead of relying on inherited family wealth, General Abubakar built his prominence strictly through a self-made career in the public sector. Driven by patriotism, he joined the Nigerian military and dedicated over 3 decades of meritorious service to the Nigerian Army. Behind the uniform, he was known by his colleagues as a highly disciplined, articulated officer, a devoted family man, and an avid lover of physical fitness, jogging, and reading. Before his long walk into the armed forces, Rabe Abubakar focused heavily on his academic foundation. He earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in history, a qualification that deeply shaped his analytical mindset. Driven by a desire to defend his homeland during a turbulent era in Nigerian history, he was admitted into the Nigerian Defense Academy (NDA) as a member of the regular course. After years of rigorous mental and combat conditioning, he reached a milestone in 1989 when he was officially commissioned into the Nigerian Army as a second lieutenant. This marked the official birth of a military career that would span over 3 decades of unbroken service. While General Abubakar spent his life navigating the high-stake public-facing architecture of Nigeria's national defense, he fiercely guided his private life. He was married to one wife, Hajiya Amina Abubakar, his lifelong companion who stood by him through the hazard of his career and sadly shared the terror of his final moment. Together, they raised a devoted family. The late general is survived by his wife and 4 children, including 2 sons and 2 daughters, who have since stepped forward to honor his memories. Ishaka Rabe Abubakar, son, who spoke to the media on behalf of the family regarding his father's death. Bekisu Abubakar, daughter, who publicly expressed gratitude following her mother's rescue. Ada Abubakar, daughter, who is active on social media clarifying the circumstances of her father passing. Muhammad Abubakar, son, his youngest child, who is just a toddler, who will grow up to learn about his father's immense sacrifices for the nation. General Abubakar stood before cameras that belonged to a nation he had sworn to protect. For years, he was the calm, commanding voice that reassured Nigerians that their military was winning the war with terrorists and that the worst was behind them. But no one could have predicted that this general, who once briefed the press on hostage rescue, would one day become the hostage himself. This is not just the story of a general. This is a story about Nigeria's failed security architecture, about the country country it was supposed to be and the country it has become. This is a sad and disgraceful story to a great nation like Nigeria. Those who served with him from his early years describe him as a man physically fit, intellectually rigorous, and deeply committed to the welfare of those under his command. He was known to jog every morning, to read widely, and to lead by example. Before the ranks and the ribbons, was a devoted family man, a husband, a father, who carried his responsibilities both at home and in the field with equal seriousness. General Abubakar, not just a soldier, he was a highly trained strategic asset. To refine his command capability, he underwent extensive local and international courses. He completed the demanding company amphibious course and later traveled abroad to attend strategic leadership program at the prestigious National Defense College of China. His rise through the ranks was fueled by his tactical precision. Long before he became a household name, in 2008, as a lieutenant colonel, he was appointed coordinator of the Joint Media Campaign Center under the Joint Task Force named Operation Restore Hope. It was here he mastered the act of managing volatile media narrative amidst heavy militancy and targeted attack on oil infrastructures. What are your thoughts on the security situation and legacy of General Rabe Abubakar? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth documentaries. He also served as Commandant of the Nigerian Army School of Public Relations and Information, NASPRI, a posting that shaping his already formidable communication skills. Then come 2015, Nigeria was at war, not formally declared but real. Boko Haram had seized territory in the northeast, kidnapped schoolgirls, bombed markets, and was executing soldiers on video. The incoming Buhari's administration indeed needed a military face that was authoritative, media savvy, and unshakable. They chose Abubakar. In August 2015, he was appointed Director of Defense Information, the chief spokesperson for Nigeria's entire armed forces, and from that podium, he delivered week after week. He faced a hostile and grieving press, defending military operations, clarifying accusations and casualties, managing the narrative of a war that had no clear ending. He warned against disinformation. He urged Nigeria not to panic. He reported the death of soldiers with solemnity and the capture of Boko Haram commanders with control confidence. He was, by all accounts, very good at his job. He held that role until March 2017, when he handed over and was redeployed to Army headquarters before eventually retiring. A general who had served his country with distinction for over 3 decades. Retirement, he must have thought, was a reward, a time for peace, but he was wrong. On May 30th, 2026, on a Saturday in Katsina State, Major General Rabe Abubakar and his wife Hajiya Amina Abubakar were traveling by road to attend a wedding, an ordinary joyful reasons to be on the move. It was the kind of journey millions of Nigeria make every week. There was no reason to believe this one was different. Their route took them through the Maraba, Musawa, Kafin Soli Road in Matazu local government area of Katsina State, a stretch of highway that security operatives had flagged as a high-risk corridor. Bandits had been operating in the surrounding forest for years, ambushing vehicles, kidnapping travelers, and disappearing back into the dense bush before any response could reach them. Near Zakim Bari village, it happened. Armed men, heavily armed, organized, clearly prepared, blocked the road. The driver of the vehicle, reacting to the gunfire, managed to escape, though he was shot in the process. But the general and his wife were not so fortunate. They were pulled from the vehicle and marched at gunpoint into the forest. A retired Major General, a man who has once commanded press conferences about Nigeria's rescuing hostages. Now he was the hostage, and no rescue was coming to him. The quick response team could not even reach a whole general in time. News of the abduction broke quickly. The military acknowledged it. The Katsina state government confirmed it, and then silence as security forces walked behind the scene. Days after the abduction, a video surfaced. It shows a man matching the general's description, seated in what appeared to be a forested area, in civilian clothes, visibly weakened. His leg appeared injured. In the video, he appealed quietly with what dignity he could preserve for those who could help to please secure his release. A military general of the Federal Republic of Nigeria begging for his rescue from the hands of terrorists. Rescue still did not get to him. A great man who had commanded hundreds of missions was left unrescued. It was difficult to watch the video released by the terrorists if you had knew who General Abubakar was. He was a man who had stood at the highest podium of Nigeria's military establishment, a man whose voice had once steadied a nervous nation. Surrounded by criminals, he had spent his career fighting. For his family, the video was both a relief and a fresh wound. His son, Isiaka, and daughter, Ada, spoke publicly, not with anger, but with desperation. They begged for swift action. They confirmed he was alive. They prayed and they hoped, but rescue was still very far away. He was there for 2 weeks. Behind the scene, the Katsina state government and the military were scrambling, deploying operational resources, gathering intelligence, attempting negotiation. Every hour that passed with the general still in bandit captivity was passing a clear message to the world. There was no shelter, no medication, no comfort. He was in need of medical attention, but none was available. The clock was ticking, and the military were doing all they could to secure his safe release, but to no avail. If you are enjoying this video so far, please be sure to press the subscribe button and like this video. This will help us grow and possibly reach more people. If you have been looking for a place to get readable past questions, material for both military, paramilitary, civil service jobs, school exams and tests, simply visit exambros.com for materials pricing from as low as 500 naira. It is as low as it can be. Visit this site today and get affordable practice materials for all jobs category. Thank you. On June 13, 2026, 14 days after the ambush, Major General Rabe Abubakar was dead. He had died in the custody of the bandits. He would not be coming home alive. But the question of how he died opened a different and deeply painful wound. The official government position was that he died of natural causes. His underlying health condition, specifically diabetes and hypertension, which had been fatally aggravated by the harsh condition of captivity. No medication, no care, a body under extreme stress, pushed past its limits. This might have been what led to his death. His children, however, rejected this account completely. Isiaka and Ada, his son and daughter, stated publicly that their father had no known history of diabetes and hypertension. He was a man who maintained his physical fitness well into retirement. The medical profile the government described, they said, did not match the man they knew. A third account emerged from sources close to the family and from reporting in the days following his death that he may have died from a snake bite sustained inside the bandit's den. A detail, if true, speaks of the unimaginable condition in which he was held. His remains, according to reports, were not returned in any dignified manner. His body was reportedly placed near a sawmill in Karadua and retrieved by ambulance before being handed over to his family. A Nigerian general was dishonored even in his death. The nation did not take this quietly with the attack that followed to flush out a terrorist. Rabe Abubakar was laid to rest at the Gandawa Cemetery in Katsina with full military honors. Colleagues in uniform, family members, and officials gathered to bid farewell to a man who had given everything to a country that, in the end, could not protect him in his most vulnerable hour. A general who gave all to his country and was betrayed by the same country he served for 3 decades. He spent 14 days in captivity and no rescue was carried out on his behalf. President Bola Tinubu expressed deep shock at the general's death and extended condolence to his family. The military, however, responded with force. Operation Clean Sweep 3 was launched, a major offensive specifically targeting the bandit camps responsible for the adoption. Troops moved into the forest of Katsina with a directive that was no longer just about rescue. And then in the morning comes a piece of news that felt like both a miracle and a heartbreak. Just days after the general's burial, Nigerian troops conducting operations as part of the offensive pushed into Tunga village and engaged the bandits responsible for the kidnapping. In the chaos of the battle, something remarkable happened. Hajiya Amina Abubakar, the general's wife, who had been held in the same captivity since May 30th, was rescued. She was alive. She had survived weeks in the forest, but she was not unscathed. She was was shot during the crossfire of the rescue operation and was immediately evacuated to a military hospital for treatment. As of the most recent report, she is recovering. She came home, her husband did not. Major General Rabe Abubakar served Nigeria for over 30 years. He defended Nigeria in the field. He was decorated, respected, and by every account, a man of genuine integrity. Major General Rabe Abubakar died in the custody of armed bandits in Katsina State. His death sparked immense national outrage. His story is not just a biography, it is a mirror. If a retired general, a man with connections, visibility, and national recognition can be taken from the road in broad daylight and never recovered alive, what does that say about the millions of Nigeria who travel those same roads every single day with no ranks and no profile to protect them? The question is not about one man's legacy. It is about what kind of country Nigeria intends to be in the future. May the soul of the late General Rabe Abubakar rest in peace, and may his story never be forgotten in the histories of Nigeria. Nigeria is no longer safe for everybody, whether you are rich or poor. This is why we have taken it upon ourselves to give survival tips on how to survive a kidnapping situation in Nigeria. Go and watch it on our channel. The general was an elderly man and had retired. He was defending and protecting his wife. He could have done nothing in this situation. He was a gallant and prepared military officer, but age and biology were no longer in his favor. This is a story of a man that had done great things and achieved a lot on a national level, but yet the country that he served for decades could not guarantee his safety. Please share this video, leave your thoughts in the comment section, like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification for more military related stories. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day ahead.